All right, we finished with Unit 1, which talked all about how to get a job and what to do to get one. And now we're going to get into Unit 2. And this unit covers what happens when you actually get a job and what happens to your paycheck in terms of taxes. Please get out whatever you're using to take vocabulary definitions. If you need to open your Google document or maybe you have to get a notebook out, please do that now. This first section of Unit 2 has a bunch of terms to remember. So we're going to start with a W-4, which is extremely important. And when you get home tonight, you can ask your parents or guardians about a W-4 because anyone who's had a real job has filled out a W-4. The W-4 is for an employer to know how much in taxes to take out of your paycheck. You fill this out before you start working. So W-4, B-4, get it? So before you start your job, they'll sit you down and they'll have you fill out a form that asks for your name, your address, your social security number, and we're going to talk about what that is later, your marital status, and the number of exemptions you want to have taken for income taxes. And we'll talk about exemptions, but exemptions are a category that you fall into for taxes. Make sure you write the definition down for a W-4 as the form that asks for your information to decide the amount your employer will withhold from your paycheck for income taxes. This entire thing can be condensed into one for the definition. Now, your income is how much you make, and that's how they determine how much to take out in taxes. However, if you don't make enough one year, you are what's considered exempt. You are in the exempt status. Please write down this term as well. Exempt status is available to people who will not earn enough in the year to owe the government anything. One of the taxes that will be taken out of your check is Social Security. And the Social Security comes out and gets contributed to your specific retirement account. You take some out of your check and your employer takes out and puts the same amount in. So if you had $10 taken out of every check for Social Security, your $10 and $10 from your employer all goes into the same account. So you'll have $20, 10 from you, 10 from them, into an account for when you retire. The amount you earn and the amount you contribute are connected to your Social Security number. So the definition of a Social Security number is right here, a worker's identification number. That's really what it is. So kind of like how you have a South Brunswick identification number, and that's how you get your Chartwell's account, or you scan into the library and it comes up because it's connected to your card. Same thing happens with Social Security. You have a number, and every time money comes out of your check, it gets sent to the government, and the government puts that money in an account according to your Social Security number. When you're ready to retire, you can be paid monthly from that account based on how much you've put in. So if you work from the time you're 16 until the time you retire, which right now is about 67 years old, so that's a good amount of time, in all of those years, you could be saving a whole lot of money to put into your Social Security account. If you don't work, there are many stay-at-home parents who don't work for a very long time, or they work a little bit before they become a parent and then they work a little bit at the end. Their retirement accounts are much smaller because they haven't paid as much in throughout their life. If you want to start now and create a large retirement account and save a whole lot of money through Social Security, you're going to have to fill out what's called a work permit application. It's paperwork that a minor must complete before they're allowed to work. Many states require this of minors. At SBHS, you can get your working papers at the Counseling Center, which is SPS, or at the front desk. On your work permit, you need to have your Social Security number, proof of age, and permission from your parents or guardians. In some cases, you also have to seek out a doctor to make sure that everything paperwork-wise is okay. The W-2 form is something that you'll collect after you've worked at a job, and it is a summary of the income you've earned during the year and all the amounts that were taken out for taxes. So your W-4 form told them when you first started working how much to take out. They take that amount out throughout the time that you work for them, and every job records that amount so that at the end of the year you get a summary. And again, that summary tells you all the money you made at every job. So if you worked at Wawa for only a week, you're still going to get a paycheck and it's still going to send you a W-2. Each job has to send you that by January 31st of the current year. And the summary of the amount is for the previous year. So for example, say good old Jen down here has worked for Wawa and South Brunswick High School in the year 2000. In January of 2001, she's going to get a W-2 from South Brunswick and a W-2 from Wawa. It's going to show her all the money she made and all the money that was sent to the government for taxes. The Department of Labor is an organization responsible for laws that protect workers. So what the Department of Labor have established is a minimum wage and regular working hour law, rules regarding overtime, rules about injuries on the job. They've provided equal employment opportunities and stop discrimination, and they've established safe working conditions. So down here, this term minimum wage definitely needs to be in your notes. Yes, that is an I, not an L. Sorry, I don't know why I put a capital there. Sometimes my hands and brain are not working at the same speed. But we heard the term minimum wage since we watched the 30 Days on Minimum Wage video. And we know that it's the lowest wage an employer can pay established by law. So New Jersey has a law as to how low you can be paid, etc. The minimum wage laws also require workers to be paid overtime of 1.5 times for hours beyond 40 per week. We discussed how a work week of a full-time employer could be up to 40 hours. And so if your boss asks you or forces you to work over 40 hours, the Overtime Wages Act or law is a way for you to be protected and makes them have to pay you more than your regular minimum wage or regular hourly amount. Sometimes you might even get double pay for those extra hours. Workers' compensation, the next blue word down, is another term to put into your notes, and it's a program that pays benefits to workers and their families for injury, illness, or death that occurs as a result of the job. If you fall at home, you can't get workers' compensation. But if you fall at work and it's their fault, they didn't clean the sidewalk and there was snow and you slipped and fell, or when you got inside, something fell on you because it wasn't locked into place. Since it's their fault, you would get some sort of payment for that through workers' compensation. The Family and Medical Leave Act, also called FMLA, allows workers to take up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave in a year for a certain medical or family situation. So you can take time off to do things like taking care of your newborn baby or a baby that you adopted. The mother or the father can take that time. You can take care of immediate family members. So if your parent was sick or your husband or wife was sick with a serious health condition, you could take FMLA time. And medical leave when you are unable to work. So maybe you got really sick. You can use FMLA to take time to go get better. Most of the time, it's only 12 weeks, which is about 3 months. And most of the time, you're not getting paid. But some employers may choose to pay you a little bit. They're not required, but just to be nice or to help you during this difficult time, they may choose to give you some sort of pay. Unemployment insurance provides benefits to workers who lose their jobs through no fault of their own. So this is the case where they might have cut your position or the company is closing. Those are things that are not your fault. And so when the company no longer exists or when your position no longer exists, or they have to cut down the amount of people in your position, you could apply for unemployment. It doesn't happen right away. There's a lot of paperwork to fill out before you start getting the checks, but it's not going to be your full paycheck. It's a portion of your paycheck that you get. So basically, people who are laid off because their positions have been cut will have to wait a period of a month or so before they get their first check, and their first check isn't as good as it was when they were working. So people don't love to be on unemployment if they like a lot of money coming in and they have bills to pay. But it's a good safety net in case something happens that you weren't expecting. Make sure you put this term into your vocabulary list. As an employee at a company, you should do the following things. And you'll notice there are 5 blue words here that you need to add to your list. Punctuality, which is being to work on time. You need to have a pleasant attitude. You need to be loyal, so show your loyalty or respect for your employer and the company for which you work, not bad-mouthing it outside of working hours or to friends and family. You need to be dependable. This is a trait that means that if you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it and everybody knows it. It's nice to take initiative, which is taking the lead. So you look around, you know what needs to be done, and you just do it. You don't wait for your boss to tell you to do it. And you need to be able to work on a team. Teamwork is really important, and working cooperatively in order to achieve a group goal is something that you'll see on every single job site. Your boss, they should provide you with supervision, which means that they're going to give you and or new employees information and training so that you can do your job well. You need to make sure that there's a fair human resource policy, so it's rules on hiring, firing, promotions, etc. They need to provide safe working conditions. It can't be so hot that people are fainting. It can't be so cold that your fingers are numb. It can't be so dangerous that you're dodging falling shelves at your workplace. It has to be safe. And your boss should also evaluate you or write a report on you that discusses your strengths and your weaknesses at the job and how you can get better in the long run. Make sure you have supervision and evaluation on your list. These are the terms for when you are beginning your job. So this is the first section in Unit 2. We're going to go through some examples next, so please don't close your notes, but make sure that you go back through the slides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 words are already on your list.